cheated the process. I take the course, and I do what was asked of me.
What do you mean by that? You never cheated the course?
Kind of like what I was reiterating, I went behind 2 great receivers, 3 great receivers. I played with soon-to-be 6 first-round draft pick receivers that have been, in front of me, or also my peers, playing with, and I've stayed the course. I've done everything that was asked of me, like I said, and just trying to act like a pro and doing what the team needs.
Why do you think that's valuable, having experience, everything that you've experienced?
I think it's valuable so coaches and teams know that I'm not a head case. I'm not someone that's going to come in there and put myself before the team. The team always comes first, so I think that's very important.
What's your pitch to teams? What you
All right, DBs, linebackers, report to the 50, please. DBs, linebackers, report to the 50, please.
I contribute whatever they ask me. At the end of the day, like I said, it's a team sport, and the team always comes first, and that takes priority. So whatever's asked of me, I'm going to do it the best way I can.
How did your year here at Penn State help you further prepare for the draft?
Yeah, it definitely helped. I had some adversities, I had some good games, had some not so great games. I always go back to that USC game, actually that whole week. And I remember the one practice, I was losing my mind. I had 3, 4 drops in one practice, and that's usually not what happens to me. And then, the coaches just told me, they're like, hey, get it out now, get it out now. And then we go into that game, I drop a really easy hitch, and then come back. And those two digs in the fourth quarter were huge. So just don't get down on yourself. The adversity that you go through, it's always gonna help you out in the long run.
If the team were to ask you, why did you choose to transfer to Penn State?
Honestly, my whole supporting staff is here. Whole supporting crew is here. My entire family is an hour down the road, so that's one big advantage. Being close to them is important to me. I stayed my course at Ohio State. I played my 4 years. That's my alma mater. To this day, I still claim them as my alma mater. I have no bad blood with any of the coaches. There's still people that I can keep in touch with to this day, and including my past teammates. So it's just a decision I made, and I stuck with my decision.
In what ways do you think you grew from this?
Yeah, just coming into a whole different system. We went from signal play calling at Ohio State to huddling here. I think that's one thing that was a little bit more difficult for me at first because I wasn't used to that. And just being able to build the bonds that I built at Penn State, and I'm going to have people that I've met on this team that are going to be my lifelong friends. So it was a great opportunity.
I know you didn't play under Knowles directly at Ohio State, but you were around him, I assume. What could you tell Penn State fans about him?
He's a guy. He is a guy. He's a football genius, and he's not super. Can't sit here and have a great conversation with you. But when it comes to football, analyzing offenses and coming up with defenses to run against offenses, if he's up in the box looking, he'll know what you're running before you run him. He's a great coach.
Did you swing by and say hi to him on the field?
I did actually. On Tuesday, I stopped up to say hello to him. Just a brief conversation because they were in their staff. I just want to make sure I said hello.
What was it like for you this year? Playing with your favorite coach of the year, what you kind of look back on that experience?
I think it was awesome, and obviously going as far as we did, almost making a national championship was great. So my family was at almost every single game. If my family wasn't here, I had a lot of friends that were able to come up to the game. So just having that supporting crew, like I said, is really important.
Did you watch the national championship? And what was that experience like for you to see some of your former teammates?
I'm always going to root for my guys, and so it was really exciting to see them play, and they did super well. I can't sit here and say they didn't. They came out, they played, they showed that they were one of the top teams in the country, and they were the best team that day.
Did any of those Ohio State guys help you throughout the process? Did you reach out to any of your former teammates and hey, what should I expect? Any of that kind of thing?
For what, pro day?
Or like the whole pre-draft process.
Yeah, so actually this is my second pro day technically. I did one my freshman year for Justin when at Ohio State. So that was kind of my introduction into it, and it was a super awesome experience. And I obviously got to see a lot of receivers too, whether it be Chris, Jackson, Garrett, you name them. I've been at their pro day, so it was a great experience for me. And I kind of knew what was coming with it, but I did not expect to be as winded as I was because I was the only receiver. So yeah, but it was a great experience. I loved it.
Time for 2 more.
What do you think you still have to prove to the NFL once you get it?
I don't know. It's a really good question. I just want to continue to prove things to myself, not to anyone else. Just want to prove, who I am and who I thought I am, and just continue to better myself every single day as a man and as a football player.
Some guys in it you didn't play with, obviously. What would you tell Penn State fans about where you leave this wide receivers room that's going to play in 2025?
I'd leave him in pretty good hands. Coach Hagan's a great coach, so is Dupe as well as his, the assistant in that room. And, you got to stay the course. And, Coach K's got a very intricate offense, and at first it is pretty hard to get. But as soon as you get it, you're going to be rolling on all cylinders. Just trust the process. Stay humble, stay hungry. Thank you, guys. Thank you.